Do you weigh around 200 pounds or 90 kilos and over? And I know one of the things you're often told is you need to lose the weight first and then do strength training, and that's absolutely wrong. So in this video, I'm going to break it down for you exactly what you need to be doing to lose weight. Hello fam, and welcome to my channel. My name's Melissa Neal, and this channel is all about helping you if you're a woman over 40 or like me over 50 get in great shape. And I do get a lot of comments and questions from women that are plus size women that weigh around about 200 pounds, which is 90 kilos or over, and they're really concerned that some of the strategies that I talk about won't work for them, and that's absolutely not the case. It will work for you if you're in that category, and if you need any reassurance, I've worked with hundreds of women and many of them have been over 200 pounds or 90 kilos. And what I would say is you do need to adopt the same sorts of strategies. There are some slight adjustments that you need to make, so I'm going to talk about those. Firstly, let's have a look at one of the regulars that comes onto my channel called Io, and she actually lost around about 100 pounds in weight, which is over 50 kilos. And she also became a bikini competitor. Can you believe it?
I lost 7 stones and 3 pounds, which is 101 pounds. Because I always think of people who have lost 100 pounds plus as being, oh my goodness, that's insane. But I never really thought that I'd lost that much. I feel like I'm in better health than I've ever been, and I can do anything. A lot of my aches and pains that I had at the beginning, the impetus to get me healthy, have either disappeared or are disappearing. With regards to the gym, I would do boot camp classes, and they're sort of HIIT style classes, which were half an hour. There was a boxing class, which was an hour. I would do weights. So I started with squats, planks, lunges, things like that really.
So I hope that's inspired you that you can do the same thing too. And I'm now going to run through the strategies. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is nutrition. And nutrition, like everyone else, it's absolutely key. And for you, when you've got a lot more weight to lose, what you've got to understand is that if you weigh around about 200 pounds or over, you can afford to have your calories up higher and still lose weight. So that's the first thing. That's actually a good thing, isn't it? So you want to be thinking about calories of over 2,000 or more, depending on what your activity levels are. You know, everyone's going to be different. Everyone's got a slightly different metabolism. I've made a video all about how to calculate your calories and macros, which I will link up here. Now, the other reason that you need to take your calories high is as your fat loss journey goes on and your weight starts reducing, the amount of calories that you need to actually lose weight, that's going to go down. So if you start off low, you're going to have nowhere to go. So it's really important that you start off as high as you possibly can. So it's kind of around about your maintenance calories and subtracting 200 to 400 calories from that. Most of you are going to find, and I get a lot of women tell me this, you know, I've lost 50 or 60 pounds and then I've plateaued. One of the things that you can do when you plateau is actually take your calories lower. But if they're already really, really low, you're going to have nowhere to go. So it's really important to build that in. Now, the other thing about nutrition, and I talk about this for everyone, is it's really important to take your protein high. And for lighter women, I'd say shoot for 1 gram of protein for every pound in your body weight. But for you, that's not going to work. And actually what protein goes on is your lean body mass. So that's what you need to be thinking about. So go for your goal body weight. So if your goal body weight's 170 pounds, get in 170 grams of protein. That's still a really high amount of protein. And I would say, 170 to 180 grams of protein, that's about the limit of what one person can manage eating protein per day. Otherwise it starts to get quite difficult, doesn't it? And I eat 160 grams of protein, and you can check out what I eat in a day and how I get that in. So now I'm going to move on to strength training, and I talked about this at the start. Many curvier women are told you can't do strength training because what you need to do is kind of lose the weight first, then do the strength training. And that's absolutely not the case. You need to do strength training to lose body fat. It's one of the most effective ways of losing body fat. Because what happens when you're doing strength training is you're going to build muscle and you won't get bulky. You can see in some of these pictures of clients that I've worked with, you're not talking about getting bulky. You're actually talking about losing your body fat. And what you're going to do is build muscle underneath that. So when you lose the body fat, you're going to have a really nice shape to reveal. And what the strength training is, it's going to help you build a better metabolism. So you're going to burn more fat easily because you've got more muscle. But you can absolutely lose fat and build muscle all at the same time. And the other benefit is that you're going to help prevent loose skin when you do strength training. So you saw that video of Io. Io does not have any loose skin because she lost weight sensibly. She did that 100 pounds over a year or more. So she lost it sensibly and she incorporated strength training. And if you want a video that actually explains in a lot more detail how to strength train for fat loss, I will link a video here. And really, I'm telling you now, don't be scared of it. It's not going to make you bulky. It's going to help you slim down. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about high intensity interval training because that's my other strategy that I talk to all women about over 40, is incorporating that 15 or 20 minutes, 3 or 4 times a week. I recommend you do strength training 3 or 4 times a week, and you can actually fit in your high intensity interval training straight after strength training. I always recommend doing cardio after strength training, not before, because strength training is your most important activity. So you want all your energy reserves for that. A lot of women that are heavier will kind of say to me, I can't do high intensity interval training because you think of it as jumping around. It absolutely isn't necessary to jump around when you're doing high intensity interval training. So you can use a low impact piece of equipment, and even if you use something like a treadmill, you can do it on a really high incline for 30 seconds and then do 30 seconds to 2 minutes of kind of resting pace. You don't need to sprint, you don't need to run. And then you can use something like a stationary bike. I know a lot of people have Peloton bikes. And then you can use something like a rowing machine. I do that, or an elliptical. And I actually have high intensity interval training, low impact workouts here on this channel. You don't need to be doing a lot of that, and you don't need to do anything that's going to be a problem for your knees. Talking of knees, it's the same with strength training. If knees are a problem for you, you can avoid or do modifications on exercises like lunges. And I do actually have a video all about bad knees and strength training when you've got bad knees. So do check that out. And remember, you can improve your knees. I know with the women that I've worked with, once they start losing body fat and actually losing weight, their knees improve. You know, if you're keeping mobile and you're losing weight, what that's going to do is help your knees improve. And I would recommend a supplement called curcumin for any kind of joint issues. It's really, really good. I'll put a link to Amazon in the description. And if you're looking for a weight loss program that's specifically geared towards women over 40, and that does work for you too if you're 200 pounds and over in weight, I run my own weight loss programs, and you can find out more about this. I'm going to put the link up here. The next thing is just to keep moving. Do think about getting your 7,000 steps in a day. It's really going to help you with weight loss, and moving more generally is going to help you with your health as well, isn't it? So do put that in, because it's going to be better for fat burning if you get in at least 7,000 steps a day. And maybe if you're doing 7,000 steps a day now, increase that by 1,000 steps and keep increasing it until you get to 10,000 steps. That's going to be fantastic for fat burning, because you know, one of the problems is we're really sedentary, aren't we, in our lives? I know I spend a lot of time sitting down behind a desk in front of a computer, and so I've got to make a concerted effort to get out walking. And I'm actually going to get out walking after I've talked to you, you know, so I get that in every day just to get my steps in, keep me moving, keep me active, keep me healthy. And the final thing to say is just keep being consistent. That's what Io did. She kept consistent over a year. She's taken the weight off. She's still kept it going and managed to compete in a bikini competition, which is absolutely amazing, isn't it? So I'm not expecting you to necessarily compete in a bikini competition, but certainly if you've got the right mindset like Io, you can absolutely take the weight off and keep it off for good.